Hello, this is the International News of Lúcia, Arden. Thank you so much for taking this message. Some excellent news. I'm going to be using the book God First, America, a Miracle. We'll discuss about the safety first in all nations, from Ayia Napa, the beautiful Greek island in Cyprus. Beautiful area. It's God's gem. God's gem. The Greek islands were God's first civilization, where he brought information of the most pure ideas before Christ. We can never forget that. We can never forget what God gave us for each nation. We're all responsible, whether it's Ayia Napa, whether it's Sweden, whether it's UK, whether it's Ireland, whether it's America. And I'm a geopolitical specialist, and I've experienced these geopolitical problems in America for many years now, and they're doing a beautiful job. This is good news that our America's doing. Now, I want to show you what under President Trump and the team, look at this. Look at it. It's amazing what they're doing.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. And we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. President Trump gave us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities. General Bondi is our warrior of justice leading that charge.
Good evening, everyone.
See, did you
This
hear
is what
that?
happens when you let good cops be cops. And we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. President Trump gave us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities. General Bondi is our warrior of justice leading that charge.
Did you see that? Did you see that? This is
This is what
excellent.
happens when you let good cops be cops.
This is everywhere.
We're going to continue
That's why I
to let
repeat
good
it.
cops be cops across this
Good
country.
cops be cops for
President
each
Trump gave
nation.
us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities. General Bondi is our warrior of justice leading that charge. Governor Youngkin, it's an honor to be a partner in this operation with you and U.S. Attorney Siebert. This is the mandate we have. Right now we have an American dying every 7 minutes from a drug overdose.
Did you hear that?
That is a national security crisis we have not seen ever before.
And we need to take care of this right away. That's what I've been pushing for years.
We have a homicide twice an hour. No part of that metric is a safe and secure America. But thanks to the brave leadership of this administration and the folks that you see here, we are returning our communities to safety.
We are returning our communities to safety. That's what I've asked and gone from place to place, country to country, to tell that we need to realize the geopolitical problems and the 9 cartel billionaires over the last 20 years have integrated into societies. From the pureness of a beautiful Greek islands, we can never forget our responsibilities. Our beautiful, all our European nations, our Sweden, our UK, our Ireland, our Greece, our Cyprus, everywhere in the Nordic area, we're responsible for the beauty of our countries. And we need to make new laws, because there's new drugs and new laws we need to make, and there's geopolitical problems and disrespect of the ethics of the original way a country is supposed to be. We've opened our arms, we've opened our hearts to allow immigrants to come in, but there has to be respect. Let's go.
As you heard, we took down this morning a top leader of MS-13. That is not done easily. That is done with brilliant law enforcement. And right here, I'm proud, and I think the governor knows I'm biased.
And that's what I said. It's very serious. Pure areas like islands and everywhere is the non-Schengen areas. They need to be protected, which they're opening now. Greece is being in the Schengen area. This is very serious. And precious places like Ayia Napa, where they open their arms to bring love and happiness and beautiful business. Those hotels need to be protected. And the children need to be protected with new laws, because there's new drugs. There's disrespect. There's ethics have changes because of globalization and multiculturalism. And I don't want these other places that are to become destroyed, like our Los Angeles area and our areas that are certain areas of the United States. I'm responsible as a geopolitical specialist, expert to see what has happened. Not an expert as the police, but expert to show the police this has happened and we need to take care of it, and expert to empower the people. And we need to do this in every nation. We're all responsible for each nation.
As having graduated from the University of Richmond, to have this here in the state of Virginia, here in our Northern Virginia resident agency. with our partnership with our Washington field office and our special agents, our SOS folks, our intel analysts, and our support staff. My priority has been law enforcement across the country.
See, that's my priority too, has been to seek internationally protect the well-being of humanity and the responsibility of the beautiful countries that God's given to the people that need to be restored and taken care of.
Country, and that will not change. But law enforcement across the country cannot be done just by Washington, D.C. and the federal government alone. This task force was stood up 1 month ago. In 1 month, the brave men and women on this task force from state, local, and federal authorities have arrested 342 criminals in the state of Virginia alone. We wanted this to be a successful model. It is a successful model because of you.
See, that's it. And that's what I was saying. Before Patel and Bondi got in and they were chosen, and Bongino, all those, I don't want to miss any, Peter, Tulsi, all of them. President Trump, the number one, is the one that was chosen to guide and negotiate. And I listed these things for years. There needs to be safety first. Now let's go, and I'm going to show you in my book what has happened, but we need to take care of each one of these situations, of all these information systems, of what has happened in America and other places. We need to come together in truth. Truth.
Our warrior of justice leading that charge. Governor Youngkin, it's an honor to be a partner in this operation with you and U.S. Attorney Siebert. This is the mandate we have. Right now we have an American dying every 7 minutes from a drug overdose.
Did you hear that? A drug overdose. And this is what I don't want with any sweet places or places that that let immigrants in and entertain and bring businesses, and they bring drugs in their places. We need to protect the children. There needs to be new laws for drugs, and not in hotels and not in communities.
Security crisis we have not seen ever before. We have a woman or child being raped every 6.5 minutes in this country. We have a homicide twice an hour. No part of that metric is a safe and secure America. But thanks to the brave leadership of this administration and the folks that you see here, we are returning.
And that's what I was saying. Safety first. Safety first. And this is my book, Safety First. This is very, very, very serious. And I've been telling about this for many years now. And safety is the most important. Safety is the most important. If you do not have safety, you do not have life. Even the most powerful is not protected when there is no safety. Money and power only will not safeguard safety. Truth and justice and strategic wisdom of God help and even sometimes allow supernatural safety for individuals, families, communities, states, and nations. This is what we need to do today for this very moment. And this is in my book, written before 2024. And this is for an example for all countries. For example, here's Ireland, the Iron Revolution. They need to keep their country safe.
Confrontation between the Irish native people and the police forces in Ireland that has started to escalate. Videos are coming out of police organizing in battle lines, pepper spraying the locals.
We need to come together, and coming together in truth.
Place in a rural town in Wicklow called Newtown Mount Kennedy, near the famous monastery of Glendalough. Now, what is driving all this tension that is leading to the police cracking down on their own citizens? You see, a property in this small town has been designated as a new asylum centre, where a considerably large amount of migrants will be moved in buses and installed in the community. Now, you might say to yourself, why would people protest such a thing? That's very horrible, very backwards. Well, this is because these types of projects do not have a good reputation. I had a cousin who went to America and was surprised to see miles of homeless people leading into California, which he assumed was going to be this sort of heaven on earth. And this seemed very strange and foreign to me until recently you go up to Dublin and you'll see the same thing. Tents all over the inner city streets. And of course, if you question this, you get gaslit. You get told that these poor people are escaping war. But there's a problem with this because you almost never see young women and families. It's all men that are my age, my height, my size. So, of course, I understand the people of Wicklow. Why would you want more of me around? I'm a big dork. Imagine 150, 200 of me loitering around your town. I don't think that'd be very nice, would it? And almost the entirety of Ireland.
These are immigrants that the situation needs to be taken care of and properly.
The decision that they don't want this to happen to their small towns. They don't want busloads of men coming in and getting installed into their communities. It's just not something that they're interested in. Consistently, about 80% of the population have said in polls.
And that's what they brought in when the immigrants came in from America, when Biden and Kamala was there. They were all men. You saw the Chinese rolling with their suitcases. Those were the computer specialists and the beautiful Africans from South Africa. They're probably hooked up with South Africa, the missiles, with Iran making missiles in South Africa. You know, it's very, very serious. We need to come together in truth. There's Ireland, and Ireland needs to be protected and safe. There's many, many situations.
Good evening, everyone. My name is...
And we need to continue the truth of what is going on here about safety. Safety is the most important thing. You can't have life without safety. We can use hindsight, sound wisdom for safety, especially now, many crimes blatant. However, many have to work together. We have to work together, and we could work together in safety, just like President Trump and the team is making the dome. We have to share the technology, which I asked, which under SpaceX is working on, and I asked to have the dome shared with different countries to protect them from all areas of other countries trying to come in and people trying to come in to destroy our countries. This is very serious. We have to realize safety first. 25 million immigrants, safety first. 1 million immigrants, 1 million criminals. 1 million criminals are of the 25 million that came in, and that's probably more that came in. First, assess the criminals and remove them. If the immigrants are not going back, there needs to be assessment of each, and there needs to be new laws. If the immigrants are not going back, there needs to be negotiations immediately with their country's leaders, which the country's leaders never stepped up. That's what I don't understand. They didn't step up. None of the country's leaders never stepped up to protect their people, because they use America. They use us. They wanted to bring us down in a lot of cases. This is very serious. And I asked to use commodities apportioned for each immigrant, and also land easements and businesses, but no one stepped up. It's called the kabar, okay? It's multiply, provide in abundance, but no, they didn't do it. This is very serious. That's in Hebrew, the kabar. They did not step up and protect their people and say, they didn't come to President Trump and says, okay, let's work together with the immigrants. They just allowed them to be where they were, because they allowed them to come here, even because of what, let's repeat that, 25 million immigrants, which is probably more, and 1 million were criminals, are criminals. And we have to be careful from each area. It says in safety, there needs to be security and hindsight. So there are not violences or catastrophic exponential levels. That's what I'm saying. Like beautiful islands of Ayanapa and all that areas where they have the beautiful people open, they come in, they have to protect themselves in their hotels. There can't be heavy drugs and heavy crimes. You know, it's very, very serious, because the children are right there. The Greek and Cyprus children are right there. They need to be protected. And a lot of those people stay there because it's an open Shinnigan area that people could come in. There needs to be protected. Things are new now. It's even death. There is paramount in a technological, globalized, geopolitical power today. It's catastrophic exponential levels, like we saw in America, what Patel was talking about. It's very, very serious.
Where are you from?
Without safety, there cannot be life and even a healthier, sustaining nation. And this is true. We have to have safety. Yet he wants his humanity to live in freedom, love, and justice. This is why we need to love God with all our heart and soul. And that's what President Trump was saying, and the leaders that represent his team, they're believers of faith, of the highest integrity. That's the first commandment, to love God with all your heart and soul. But that's justice. That isn't God, but it's a representation of the character of what Judeo-Christian nation is. Safety, protection, and life and justice to be the authentic person of God created. We need to be that person that God created to be self-sufficient nation in all nations. Love is the first safety to protect, but love is justice, and actually, it's truth. Because I know they don't use the word love, in law, but it's truth. It's truth. It's trying to get the highest truth, because only God has agape love. That's unconditional, but that's getting to the highest justice that's available. Ethics, okay, and this is it. Ethics are essential to review as we discuss safety is the most important. And that's what the problem is. People disrespected the ethics of each other and their nations. Just like UK, all those people, they gave all that money, and all those people, and they tried to do protesting. Just like America, they gave all the protection and all the jobs and all the education, and they disrespect our America. We cannot have it. Same thing with Sweden. Same thing with Ireland. In Scott, all those areas we need to protect. This is very important. Here's the write-up of Sweden.
Came to Europe to escape Islam. Yet Islam killed him here in Europe. Sweden seems like a Sharia to me. Islam is the religion of peace. It's a desert, macho, fascist ideology. Death cult is what it is. If you are a follower of Sharia, politely back to your and leave the rest of us alone.
Is Sweden on the path to Islamization? Is the nation once known for peace and tolerance now being hijacked by extremist elements? Sweden raised its terrorist threat level to high in 2023. But was that enough? The evidence suggests otherwise. The latest victim? Salwan Momika, the Iraqi exile who burned the Quran in 2023, was shot dead on January 30th, 2025, live on TikTok. A brutal execution for exercising free speech. Is this the price of standing against radicalism? And it doesn't stop there. Even Sweden's prime minister has sounded the alarm. He claims Iran is using criminal gangs to orchestrate violence.
I agree, and that's what I said in my book in, I think, 2016, my first edition in 2019, that Iran was trickery, the jihadist extremists, not the Iranian people, the leaders. And we need to protect our nations, each one, and it begins with safety and the controls of immigrants coming in and destroying the beauty that God gave each nation.
Across the country. But it's not just Iran. 2 Afghan nationals were caught plotting a terrorist attack near the Swedish parliament. Their motive? Retaliation against Quran-burning protests. And then came October 5th, 2024. Shots fired at the Israeli embassy in Stockholm. Explosions in Copenhagen. Who was behind it? According to Swedish intelligence, Iran-backed Islamic criminals. Terror threats are no longer...
See, that's it, the same thing. And now Netanyahu is in between this. And that's why I asked, why did Iran use the money to take all those Palestinians out? They're all Muslims. I asked in October when they had they were doing the Holocaust, trying to do the Holocaust of Israel and threaten us, the Jihadist Brotherhood, of taking down all Christians and non-Muslim people and even Buddhists and Catholics and Christians and Jews. So why did Iran and all those people take out those Palestinians and give them a home to live in and open doors? Because they used them as a human shield.
Longer hypothetical. Sweden has become a hotbed of radicalization, criminal gangs, and Islamist extremism. And the worst part? It's happening in broad daylight.
And that's why we need to protect. People need to go and help Sweden right away. This is allowing international crimes to be passed without any respect of the international community. This is allowing crimes to be taken and turning your head when another nation needs help. So I want EU, but it's not what I want. Okay, I'm empowering you and praying and hoping and showing you the facts. You need to go in and help Sweden and help each other to save these countries, because this is accepting criminals to take over a country because of the countries. Actually, the countries love to first open the doors to help a needy person, but then they take advantage.
Few chilling facts. In June 2024, a Somalian refugee strangled his pregnant Christian Swedish girlfriend in an honor killing because she was carrying his child. At the Eurovision Song Contest in May 2024, Israelis were warned to stay away from Sweden due to terrorist threats. Pro-Palestine protesters in Sweden chanted, "Bomb Israel," and burned an Israeli flag outside a synagogue in November 2023. And then there's the horrifying reality of ISIS returnees living freely in Sweden. Yes, you heard that right. Over 40% of former ISIS fighters have reintegrated into Swedish society, many even working as teachers and social workers. How did Sweden allow jihadists to take care of its children? Terrorism is no stranger to Sweden. The 2021 axe attack, the 2017 beer truck massacre, and the Stockholm vehicle attack, all linked to radical Islamist networks. Yet the government remains hesitant to take strong action.
And he better take, because you know what? All those people, all those countries, all those Swedish countries, all the legacy, all the children, all the initial legacy of Sweden, the past legacy of Sweden, the present legacy of Sweden, the future legacy of Sweden, and the very future. We need to go in there and clean it up right away, and another country has to help right away.
Let's talk about Sweden's immigration policies. Thousands of unvetted asylum seekers have entered Sweden in the last decade. Many of them now form violent criminal gangs. Unvetted.
This is the same thing with America. That's why President Trump and the team, we had to assess the people. And all those immigrants, they said to turn themselves in. Where was their country? There's billionaires in their country to help them, but no. Because they use America. They're using America. And now the ones that were good immigrants and staying out of trouble and just making a living, like Mr. Fink said, that the agriculture, the ones that did agriculture, but Mr. Fink said they had to come in legally. Mr. Fink said the immigrants had to come in legally. This is very serious, and this country, Sweden, needs to be reassessed, and it needs to be cleaned up right away, and we need to get leaders and new laws, and those people should go back to their homes. There has to be a big military and new laws for Sweden to save it. This cannot be. Can't you see? This is an undercut of power of Iran using their power to bring the jihadists in Sweden to take over. Are you listening? And that's what they were trying to do to America.
Extremism that Sweden is struggling to control. So we ask again, is Sweden on the path to Islamization? Is it losing its identity to radical forces? And if Sweden falls, who's next?
See, that's what I was saying. The geopolitical powers, that's why I said, and I got in trouble for it, that the geopolitical power is different now ever in the world. There's geopolitical powers not like before and needs to be corrected right away. And we need to love first, but there needs to be corrections. Just like President Trump did, he needs to address the issue with the immigrants, the same thing that Sweden needs to do. It needs to be addressed right away. Moses, it's reflective of the 10 Commandments. Because the Israelites they couldn't live in truth and honesty. God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. Are you listening? God gave Moses the 10 Commandments because they couldn't live in honesty and truth. And the first commandment is to love God with all your heart. The second is to love your neighbor as yourself. But jihadists don't do that. When they went to Sweden, the 1 million immigrants that are criminals, when they entered our America, the Fentanyl in UK, all those people that they took care of, the Muslims that they took care of, and now they're protesting in Ireland. All those men that are young men that came from other countries because they want to take over, because there is trickery. There's elite communists with big money that sends them to these places because they want to take over the countries. They also make new laws across the border. It needs to be worked together. Each country has to be a Moses. Are you listening? Their leaders have to be Moses to protect their nations from the Pharaoh, which is the jihadist, extremist, Islamic regime backed by secret money of Iran, as you showed, Iran backed the jihadists in Sweden. Otherwise, you're going to lose your country. Someone needs to come and help Sweden right away. In ethics, there's no ethics. That shows they don't have ethics. When they just come and start protesting and start trouble and just take and not respect, then they destroy the country. Just like when they come in beautiful places and islands and bring drugs. Drugs are different nowadays. They're very severe. And there's multiculturalism and globalization without respecting the nation's protocol of communication. Without home of safety, a person cannot take care of basic existence. The war borders of the United States and of all countries is a war for her people and safety. Do you know that's all these areas, Sweden, UK, Scotland, Finland, all those areas, and also secret areas that they try to come in. Remember all those people they found in Greece trying to come into Greece and ruined criminals they found? America did. Do you see this? The war borders of the United States and also all countries is the war for her people. This was written before 2024. Fentanyl and human trafficking of the people. Yes, why do we protect all other areas across the world and our individual homes and government? We need to protect the borders. We do not want what comes in. There are geopolitical powers and 9 criminal billionaires. They're all together. Did you see that? 9 criminal billionaire cartels. They're cartels. United States companies will not have contracts in 10 to 30 years, or any Sweden, UK, Ireland, in any other areas, if they do not bring back manufacturing and self-sufficiency and take out these Islamic regimes that are trying to control, and they have to use proper regulation that serves human first, and quality made in safety of natural products and small businesses, and integrate in the highest integrity. There's global systems now, environment, political, economical, and social, which are intrinsically connected. Are you hearing this? Lisa Luchard wrote this book. This is for each one. There are 4 principles, global systems: environmental, political, economical, and social, which are intrinsically connected. These are the ones charged of shaping the world from the local scale to the global scale. Yes, humans play a significant role in intervening somehow in all systems already mentioned. We need to go back and support each other, and Sweden needs to be taken care of. There needs to be new international laws. And now they're trying to show on the TV and social media that America's dollar is going down. We already knew they were going to do the BRICS and not use the dollar to trade. But we're going to be fine because we have our tariffs. We have our small and large businesses. It's going to balance out. And even though we have that big deal, you know, the dollar is inflation. There's worth less. But we have Bitcoin coming in and using Bitcoin. And we have tariffs that we're going to put on. And we're going to watch our spending. And we're going to develop businesses, which we have. President Trump has business in line. And that's what Sweden needs to do. They need to clean up right away. In UK and Scotland and Ireland, they need help. There needs to be sanctions. Sanctions! Here it is. Today, in the globalized world of geopolitical powers, it is paramount to have understanding of multicultural beliefs and working acceptance and respect and negotiation of work to fulfill all missions and protect life of humanity and all life. Understanding and entering into the culture and the complexities of Islamic life and life of other dominant cultures and even third world countries is pinnacle delivering peace and liberty of evolution of well-being and safety and empowerment of humanity. Knowing the plan of intercultural communities and relationships in the professional levels promotes the highest movement of life. But they didn't go in professional, the Islamic. They're not in peace. They're in protesting. Hello? Are you listening? How could this be right if they disrespect all the country they live in? It doesn't make sense. And their leaders don't protect them or don't integrate monies, and they want their country, Sweden, to take care of them, UK to take care of them, Ireland to take care of them. This is wrong. Because the world forums and the elite powers have many world controls, it is essential to integrate and assess and develop relationships that serve culture with the utmost justice and peace and protect the people first and the children at the most urgent work. Today, in the globalized world, geopolitical powers is paramount to understanding multicultural beliefs. There it is. It's said twice. Empowering each other. Hence, scholars, leaders alike need to be negotiable and compassionate with wise and knowledge and understanding. These leaders are not negotiable that are part of the Islamic regime, the jihadists. They're not being negotiable. They're starting protesting it and causing trouble in the nations. They just like they said, they delivered all these men in Sweden that come over, not women and children, to try to take over because there's a hidden plan of the Iranian jihadists that supports them to do this. And it says, 1 John 4:7, my dear friends, let us love one another, since love is from God, and everyone who loves is a child of God and knows God. But love is truth. Love is freedom. Love is safety. Love is not taking advantage of what a country's given you and then trying to take away a country's life. That's not love. Whoever fails to love does not know God. And that's what they do. Those ones that are the protesting, trying to take over a country of Sweden, UK, Ireland, that is not love. That's not knowing love. Love is showing respect and love consistent of nonviolence and showing love for one another. That's what these countries did. They opened their arms to these people initially, and now the people want to take the country away, the initial legacy. And I believe that they have enough power and strength in God's love. Sweden, Ireland, UK, all of them, Finland, all the countries, to be protected by God's love. Because remember, the Israelites were just a small group of people, and with Moses, and God protected and saved them against the Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh is like Iran. The Pharaoh is like Iran. For example, the entire community is to be protected by the police. The police is a home of protection and community. The door is open to the community, yet we want to protect community. So here's about the door. We have a home. UK has a home. Sweden has a home. America has a home. Scotland has a home. Ireland has a home. And it is a door. And it also has locks on the door. The door is used to enter and exit correctly. And in some areas, each community, there is more crime than others, correct? Therefore, we use locks and security systems. And even if the community has less crime, it is in a higher socioeconomic area, we still have security gates and even the highest tech to monitor the homes. And know that this may seem laborious to you, this basic fact, but it's an explicit analogy of our nation, of America, our nation of Sweden, our nation of UK, our nation of Scotland, all nations to protect in safety. And what are the locks of security? It's the proper relationship of ethics, of the way the immigrants come in and other jihadists come in disrespect of our country and use it. Never in the time of history is our country in the greatest danger because of open borders. This is what happened. They allowed people to come in because of love. But because they have the greatest love of God, all these countries, Sweden, UK, Ireland, America, God will protect them if they seek back in righteousness like President Trump and the team is doing. But it needs to be restored again. It is the geopolitical powers. Now things have changed. Kamala and Biden, the elite communists, and the jihadists under the secret supporters. Is it Iran? It showed. And democratic elite communists stripped our protection. Stripped our protection for Sweden. Stripped our protection for Ireland. Stripped our protection for UK. Stripped our protection for other countries. We need to again ask God to see that we only wanted the best for these people. So we need to again step up to the faith and hope of justice in God and the land, in the hearts of the people. And we could do this now. We could do this, all countries. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. This is Lúcia Arden. We need to come together in truth. And this is the book I was talking about. God First, America, our miracle. God First. Countries are a miracle. This needs to be done right away. Thank you so much for our time. I appreciate your time. God bless you. Thank you very much. And God first. All countries are a miracle. We could do this. You can make a miracle, Sweden, in God's power and love. You ask and seek in righteousness and good strategic action. You can make a miracle, UK. You can make a miracle, Ireland, Finland, all the countries. We are making a miracle in America because we are seeking God's justice first. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. This is Lúcia Arden. Please help donate and work together with truth and reconciliation and preparation to protect your country and to protect the children first. Thank you very much.